Good morning, Shavua Tov, Gutavach. Thanks for tuning in to Kila Chari Torah's daily review of Maimonides' 613 Mitzvot, the Sefer HaMitzvahs, for Sunday, August 29th. We began saying the Slichas last night, and we will continue with them each morning, starting tomorrow, Monday morning at 7:30. Those will be broadcast on Zoom, so if you'd like to join into that, everyone is welcome. We're also sounding the shofar and encouraging ourselves to prepare for the high holidays, which are well nigh upon us, coming up in just a week's time. We have a few more halachas to speak about in Rambam's list of the positive commandments, the 248 positive commandments. We're up to number 236, and that is the penalty for inflicting injury, liability for damages caused to another. This mitzvah commands us about the law of one who wounds his fellow person. It's contained in the words from the 21st chapter of Exodus. If two men contend and one smite the other, etc., laws of penalties for damages. The basis for all these is a verse in Leviticus which says, as he has done, so shall be done to him, which means, the meaning of which, the way we understand it traditionally in rabbinic Judaism, is that the person is to pay the money equivalent to the harm that he has done to his fellow man. So we don't say that if one, the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, maxim certainly does not mean that one is to poke out somebody else's eye in compensation. Rather, we try our best to determine with due process the value of the damage, and the person has to compensate the victim for that. Tradition rules that even if a person embarrasses, puts to shame another person, he's also liable for a certain amount of money, damages equivalent to that. You'll find these in the first chapter of Bava Kama, and the note here says that full compensation in the case of one who wounds his fellow man provides for liability in 5 separate areas. Those are for injury, for the pain that's caused, for the time, for the healing, for the loss of time, and for the indignity inflicted. Jewish cases that adjure such situations nowadays make a general sum of compensation, and they take into account all of those. An interesting note, very pertinent to this time of year. According to the Mishnah, even though the injurer has paid full compensation to the injured, according to the measure of suffering that he caused him, it says, he is not forgiven until he asks pardon. The injured person, however, must be merciful and forgive. So everything can't be resolved simply by monetary payment. You also have to seek the forgiveness of the person who was wronged. In close succession to that, you have the laws of injuries caused by an ox. Classic case that speaks about in Bava Kama, in Tractate Bava Kama, in the beginning, actually in the first number of chapters there, talks about the law of an ox that gores a person or another animal, or so on. There's various laws that pertain to this. Depends on if the ox had been habituated to cause damage in the past, or not. If it was not an ox that had been known ever to cause damages by goring with its horns. So the question that goes with that is, should the owner have known well enough to take precautions to make sure that the animal didn't cause any damages? Okay, and depending on that situation, if the ox had been warned, had been known to cause damage in the past, of course, the greater that factor, the more the owner has to be liable for damages caused. Okay, we'll leave it there for today. We have some more to talk about on this line, but we'll continue tomorrow. Have a good day.